I am so excited to dive back into Boracity Magazine videos, and this week, I think they'll have a good one for us. Let's go.
You know BTS!
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Landon, and we are here again today for another BTS poll winning video. Yes, today we're back on our Boracity grind. This one is called I Miss BTS's Old Sound Excuse. So we get to see the reasons why people are scared of evolution, scared of growth, scared of maturity. That's what I'm guessing we're going to see today. A bunch of wham-whams. I don't know, but I'm so excited because Boracity always knows how to break it down exactly how we need to digest it. So thank you again so much to Boracity for this video and all that you do. Today, let's see what these people got to say about I miss the old BTS sound excuse. Blah, 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 blah.
No matter which kind of music you listen to, you've most probably heard these phrases. These artists fell off. They've gone mainstream. They are not the same.
Okay.
I miss their old sound.
Let me just tell you this. There are moments where artists do have to go mainstream in order to literally channel mainstream success. Let's be real. Do you think Cypher 3 will be played globally on radio and stuff? I wish it would. Let's be honest. But we need something like a Dynamite and Butter to ease people in. So if that's the kind of direction we're going in, I can understand this much of an argument. But the argument is this big, babe. Can you handle it? Okay. Let's see.
This is a pretty common narrative applied to most music artists, and the biggest group in the world is not exempted from this criticism. Change in music is very rarely welcomed, because as you can see, these phrases always come with a negative connotation. This phenomenon is very common because change is uncomfortable. People resist change because it takes us out of our comfort zone. But change is human, and artists are human too. This is more obvious with the artists who are very connected to their art and their artistic decisions, because their changes of opinion,
yeah, all these solo
lifestyle,
moments
or
here.
artistic preferences will be reflected in their art. These changes will be reflected in their sound.
Yep.
In K-pop, for example, music labels know the negative reception change can have on listeners, so they avoid it.
That's very true. If you really sit down and think about it, K-pop world wants everybody to be like, oh, y'all like that? This was good? Let's stick to that forever. And it's not a bad thing because you come to get to know these artists, so you get used to what to expect. And this is going to sound, let me preface this by saying, Let me preface it by saying, That's what B-sides are for, okay? B-sides allow us to explore all the other things. So before I say that, remember, I understand B-sides have so much more to offer than title tracks. But there's groups like one that I really enjoy. If you're here on the channel, you know Stray Kids. I love Stray Kids, but we kind of know what we're gonna get for a title track. Like I said, that's what the B-sides are for. But I would love to see some more individual work. We've seen some individual work from them before, but like that's where their real true personalities come out, and that's what makes artistry so beautiful. Okay.
Sameness has worked in some of the biggest groups in K-pop. K-pop labels create an image for their groups that come with one specific sound. This sound becomes their thing, and they avoid changing it. However, BTS is a little more transparent and raw than that. BTS's sound direction over the years has been a little bit of a mess, for lack of a better word.
You crazy.
BTS started with one sound, then they changed it to something else. Then they evolved their first sound, then they started a new one, then another one, then they evolved an old one, and so on. BTS's music changed from rebellious to romantic, from angry to sad, from sexy to inspirational. Change is part of BTS's life, and they will show it in their songs, even if these changes are dramatic. The result is art that is painful, cruel, but also fun and beautiful.
Exactly.
I believe the phrase I miss BTS's old sound is just an...
Because if we're really sitting back and take a step back and looking at it all the world of K-pop, including BTS in there, BTS has one of the most wide range of sounds. I swear. I know there's other groups of people that could probably be like, well, have you heard their whole discography? I don't think you've listened to their whole discography. No, I haven't heard every discography in the world. From what I have heard, to go from No More Dream to Spring Day to Black Swan to Go-Go. Here we are at Idol. Mic Drop, Run, I Need You, still in that kind of class over there. You know, Mepse. There's just so many. I think that's why I love BTS so much, and I love their discography, is because it really is so much in it. And like I said, I do know that artists have that in their B-sides. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to BTS title tracks, they are pretty different.
Excuse.
Oh,
Just
okay, remix?
BTS has gone through many changes that fans refer to as eras.
Eras
One thing
tour.
that I wanted to highlight is that when people complain about BTS's new eras and say they miss their old ones, they usually mean that they miss one of their old sounds, because their composition is not addressed as much. The message, form, and attitude in the lyrics BTS compose now are not at all the same as they used to.
Yeah, they're
But you
different
won't see
people, honestly, in a good way.
criticizing their change of lyrics, because it's not easy. Judging sound is easy and convenient. If you go beyond the sound and the aesthetics, you will notice that BTS's lyrics change accordingly. When BTS was in high school or just graduated from high school, their lyrics and song were rebellious and youthful. So obviously,
you get to watch them literally grow through their discography. I love this. Okay, love this. Love this chart. Bora, did you make this? Bora! Ah! Okay, so school, let's just talk about it real quick. We have our school here, transition to adulthood. You know, Dark and Wild got dark and wild. Then youth realizing that we're maturing, not wanting to get rid of the youth yet. Temptation and growth, growing into the adult that we're becoming. Oh my God, with wings and you never walk alone. Oh my God, this is such a good little chart here. Self-acceptance being like, damn, I am me. He is him. She is she. They are them. You know, that is the era of love yourself, babes. And then artistic identity being like, okay, so we did all that. Let's find our own self now in music. And I think that that is where Map of the Soul comes from. And then B hit that pandemic and then the legacy albums. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. I'm sure she's going to talk about all of this, but I am obsessed with this chart. I am.
Their school trilogy reflected their lives.
Let's do it. Let's go through with you now.
As they transition into adulthood, the rebelliousness in school transformed into rebelliousness in society and life. The result is Dark and Wild, an angrier album with heavier rock sounds. In their youth era, they left their teenage days behind. They already experienced what it's like being an adult, so they reflect on life and youth. However, the more independent you get, the more you notice the difficulties of adulthood.
Shit's
Things
real.
like temptation, violence.
That's
the
why
darkest
Wings
aspects
resonates so
of
much with me, I
society,
think.
And the search for freedom are the main themes of the Wings era. The healing of these traumas is more visible in their Love Yourself
Healing. I
trilogy,
love
an
you. I
era
love
with
that.
tons of reflection and inspirational messages. After accepting themselves and building confidence, the BTS members ask themselves, who am I? In the Map of
Who the hell
Soul
am
era,
I?
These albums are an exploration of self-identity, both as humans
I'm getting
and as
fucking
artists.
chills, bitch.
Then
I'm
the
sorry.
night started. So their confusions, worries, coping mechanisms, and messages of hope of the future are reflected in the B era, which includes both uplifting and distracting songs and an intricate album describing their
Bora!
experience. Finally, before starting their mandatory military service, BTS released a compilation album of their most representative Japanese songs and an anthology album which compiles the songs that represent the
Listen,
members
before we
as
go.
a group, as solo artists, and as people. This anthology album also has 3 new songs that explain BTS's thoughts on their comeback and future after their military service. On the side, the BTS members
I'm sorry. Okay, wait. Bora, that was amazing. Thank you. Thank you for putting it like that. I've never saw somebody break down their album discography like this, and I literally got chills. This is something that's new for me to see. We're going to move on now to the solo artists, which have also come out a lot more since then. But, Bora, I've never seen it put like that. I'm so sorry. I'm like freaking out because like that's just the perfect representation of BTS discography. And it was done. You did it. You did it in a chart. Damn. Okay.
released solo projects that reflected their personal journeys as well. My point is that just like all of us, BTS has gone through many changes in their
I
lives.
love
They
this.
will not hide these changes in their artistic expression. To the contrary, they will reflect their personal changes in their music. In the past 11 years, BTS has made music as teenagers, young adults, and now they continue making music as they enter their 30s. This range of age is so important in someone's life because change will
That's why they
happen.
stay
And I
relevant
think
in
it's
our
beautiful
lives.
That BTS has never hidden the multiple changes in their lives. They actually highlight and celebrate change. Over the years, people have criticized BTS's quote-unquote new artistic direction. But as you can see, there was never an old sound and a new sound. Change is a core part of BTS's discography. If one year they released a new sound, in the next year or even in the next months, they will release other sounds. There's no before
Yes.
and after, just
Constantly
change.
changing and evolving. That's what I'm saying. It's a constant evolution, constant change in a good way. You don't want people singing the same stuff they were singing back when they were 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old, when they're in their 30s. Like, yeah, that's what we see a lot of with like legacy acts that are still performing their hits, and BTS will always perform their hits, don't worry. But you want the lyrics to evolve over time too, so you have new classics that you can relate to in your own life, you know? Damn. Friends just for now.
Another thing about the BTS eras is that although they usually reflect one sentiment or overall vibe, the sound also changes within the same era or the same album. Here's one example. Some people have this idea of the Youth trilogy as this era with soft songs and angelical voices. This era is more recognizable for their sentimental view of life.
Forever, we are young. Don't know option and shine, brother, shine.
After this era, they released Wings, which was more angsty and even seductive. Then, the Love Yourself trilogy included more songs with EDM influences. Their next eras, Love Yourself, Map of the Soul, and B, included fun and happy songs people can dance to. So, I can say that I miss the sentimental view of life BTS had before. Now, they have these other sounds that I don't like. They fell off. What I just did there was nitpicking. I picked and chose certain songs to create the narrative that BTS had a before and an after in the music.
They've always
In reality,
changed.
The Youth trilogy is more than just soft
Yeah,
songs.
let's
with
get
a
to the
sentimental
B-sides,
view of
babes.
life. The Youth era also had the angsty message with a seductive sound from their future Wings era.
So bad.
The Youth era had the EDM sound they would then evolve in their Love Yourself era.
Yeah.
And the Youth era did have fun and happy songs people can dance to. The same way, people pick and choose certain songs from any BTS era and claim this was their old sound. This is an excuse to criticize everything new BTS releases. But this makes no sense because their projects don't have one and only one sound. The rebelliousness and anger from their School trilogy and Dark and Wild remain throughout all of their recent eras.
They like,
The
oh, we can say that?
rebellion view of life from the Youth era remains throughout their recent eras as well. This also happens with their solo projects. For example, in one year, J-Hope produced 2 albums with different hip-hop sounds. More modern, mostly aggressive hip-hop with a rock vibe, and a street dance hip-hop inspired by his childhood. While he released the first album in 2022 and the second one in 2024, he made both albums within the same year. He only released his second album later because of his military service.
And that's talent. That's just artistry. You know what I mean? When you have it in you. I think about it too. We must not have got to this in this time that the video came out, but Jimin's over here releasing Face and Muse. Different. One to me is dark, one to me is light, but they both feel like they come from the same person. And that's what it's about, babe. That's what it's about.
So as you can see, an artist or any person may experience changes within the same year. And just like J-Hope, it's very difficult for a person to have one sound or style. You don't watch the same
Go back to his
genre
old
of movie all
mixtapes
the time,
too.
and you
Nothing
don't
like the
just
2 he
one
put out.
flavor. You like a bunch. Personalities
Piece
and
of Peace,
preferences
Airplane,
are
like come
complicated.
on.
So true artistic expression is complicated as well. So why do people pick and choose? Why do they refuse to see the overall picture? Sometimes this sentiment of missing or nostalgia is real. While it's true that some of this criticism comes from haters who want to hate, others don't do this intentionally. Like I said, not only BTS receives these comments, most artists do. And I think this usually has to do with an idealized perception of music. In this case, an idealized perception of BTS's music. People create an ideal version of BTS or any artist based
the perfect
on how
little
they first found
thing in their
and
head.
fell in love with their music. People find BTS in a certain place with a certain sound. Then they look for this sound in their entire discography, unintentionally ignoring their variety of sounds. So
I think that's what I love the most about BTS. I don't think I would be here today if BTS did not have the variety of sound in their entire discography. I would have enjoyed it for sure, but y'all know, especially if you were here with me when we went over every single fucking BTS song on this channel, they surprised me in every single era. I'm like, these the same boys that sang No More Dream, Black Swan? Like, what? You know, that's what made me really truly fall in love, babe.
The new albums drop, they are faced with reality. BTS doesn't have one sound, they have many, and their next single will most probably be a new sound. Your favorite sound will come back at some point, but you already have in your mind that they changed. In every single era, in every release of an album, people say that they miss the old BTS sound. For example, Blood, Sweat and Tears was one of the songs that got them a lot of worldwide fans. So, of course,
I do
when they
love
change
Blood, Sweat
their
and
sound,
Tears.
people
Don't get me
kept saying
wrong.
that they miss the art from Blood, Sweat and Tears. They don't find it in DNA, they don't find it in Mic Drop, they don't find it in Boy With Love. But I know that the ones who loved Blood, Sweat and Tears in 2016 would have
I was
loved
just about to
Blood,
say
Sweat and
that. Wait, no, I didn't want to sound stupid, so I didn't want to say it, but I was gonna. Bora, we're on the same level. I was going to say, y'all, if y'all like Blood, Sweat and Tears, I have their big sister Black Swan right over here. You know, Black Swan is what got me into it. So when I saw Blood, Sweat and Tears after Black Swan, I was like, oh, these boys been artistic this whole time. Yes. Oh, I'm so mad I didn't say it because y'all are gonna think I'm lying, but I swear I was thinking it. I just didn't want to sound stupid.
In 2020, people sometimes unintentionally create their own BTS by highlighting their favorite sound and ignoring the rest.
You can do all the
This is how they
ciphers and
create
Bepse and all that
themselves
stuff and think they're
from
just like
after.
rap heavy
Sometimes
only.
people are unconsciously in the lookout for change to criticize it. For example, there's this popular tweet of a BTS fan saying that they miss the old BTS. They tweeted this in November of 2013, and BTS debuted in June of 2013. Not even 6 months into their career, and they are already receiving these comments. I think this goes back to our own idealized perceptions of music. This is also the reason why every generation says that they miss the music from back in their days. This
is exactly right. I've heard this from every single set of fans in every single artist circle. You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna think that every artist has changed. It's called evolution. It's called growth. It's okay. The only time that I've ever really said that, there's a couple times where some of my favorite rappers, you could tell they were really, really hungry in the beginning, and they were creating these amazing word plays and like really going for it. And then now that they made it and they're like, I can just put out anything and it doesn't matter anymore. That's the time that I'm like, all right, the change was not for me. But that's not the case for BTS. I'm talking about more Western artists right there. BTS, they said they're gonna put their artistry in everything. So don't get it twisted. These boys love music and art. It's clear.
Actual good music. That was real music. Everything new is just not the same. They create this perception because it's how they first discovered, perceived, and enjoyed music.
Yeah. Yo, I saw that it changed my life, Black Swan. So shut up.
BTS, because although their sound has drastically evolved over the years, they never completely left behind their old sound.
Exactly.
They don't abandon their music. They expand it. Like I said, I think that the ones who loved Blood, Sweat and Tears in 2016 would have loved Black Swan in 2020.
You're right.
Now, if your response to this is that Black Swan is similar but not the same as Blood, Sweat and Tears, then I beg you to go out and practice some critical
Bora,
thinking.
tell them! Bora, I beg you to go out and practice critical thinking. This is why I love Bora. Bora spits the facts. Bora has receipts. And Bora's not afraid to shade you to your face. Throwing some subtle sly digs in there, but it's all respectful. Never anything mean. Just things that make people think. And that's what the world needs to do is think. Damn. And Bora's here to be the teacher. She is the teacher.
Are not going to be exactly the same. That is just disingenuous and lazy. BTS will give you the same vibe or even the same sound in some new projects, but these songs will not be identical. So here are some examples of how some new BTS songs remind me
I love
of
this.
old ones.
Song association.
An upbeat hip-hop based Dope from 2015 had a cool choreography, fast-paced raps, and a melodic chorus about hard work. So did Mic Drop in 2017 and Run BTS in 2022.
Love it, love it. Hello, receipts.
They relive the romantic old-school trilogy songs like Just One Day, Miss Right, and Like in
Good old days.
SDL from 2023.
Somebody just love. Somebody just love. My man's still making love hits.
Over the sound of traditional Korean instruments in Dan from 2018, Daechukda from 2020, and Haegun from 2023.
Hello.
Yeah. All good.
My man's gonna bring it, if anything.
The playfulness and sweetness of the sound in Closer Than This remind me of the sound in Flight
Flight in My Room is so underrated.
August This Polar Night from 2023 reminds me of J-Hope's Boy Meets Evil from 2016.
I love this word association, this song association game. Boracity, yes. Exactly. I wouldn't have really put those together. I love that though.
BTS continue their classical pop sound with uplifting messages of songs like Love Myself and Microcosmos.
I want to leave y'all with a positive message.
The soulful sound of Stigma from 2016 is also present in Blue in 2023.
Damn!
If you miss the old sound with non-stop changes and a complicated choreography like Not Today in 2017, you can listen to On from 2020 or Set Me Free Part 2 from 2020.
Bora, I love these. I love these. God, I fucking love this
The
song.
funky hip-hop sound of My City from
Yeah.
2015
Oh my
is
God,
also
yes.
present in Disease from 2020
And Unlock,
Not
Unlock,
from
yes.
2024.
It's connecting the dots for me.
And let's not forget BTS's Map of the Soul era, in which they reimagined their school trilogy.
Let's go.
You give me
진짜 뭐였지? I wanna be a rockstar. I want it on mine. I wanna be a
Thank you. Somebody's talking about it. Exclusive. Yeah.
So,
D-
no
D-
more
D-
I miss
DJ
BTS
Bruce.
old sound. I'm tired of that false
She
memory
said,
that
"I'm
BTS has
tired."
access to. One more thing I want to say. In order to make this video and make this list of songs, I had to change my perception for a minute.
Okay.
I had to analyze the exact ways in which BTS changed. And I had to think the same way people who miss the old BTS do. I had to connect their new songs to their old songs. And with that experience, my question is, why are you doing this?
Oh.
As I was listening to their new songs to make this list, I got distracted with some amazing songs we wouldn't have gotten if BTS stayed with their first song. I listened to Wildflower, for example, and I realized that it doesn't remind me of any old song. But how am I supposed to ignore and move on from Wildflower? Picking and choosing is so exhausting and boring.
It's
a miserable
nitpicky.
way of thinking,
Stop
and
it.
I don't understand how people do this all the time.
Everything changed. He says it right there.
In conclusion, don't take BTS's one sound that you like as their one and only sound, because that will bring disappointment.
Yes.
Actually, don't do this with any
Yeah.
artist. People change over time because they go through different stuff over time. People leave school, find love, have their heart broken. They find disappointment and success. People get married, divorced.
Not the
have
married.
kids, go through unspeakable
Not the only
sorrow
example of
change.
marriage.
When BTS comes back from the military, don't expect one specific sound from the past. There will be some kind of music.
And Jin just came out with the freaking rock hit. Hello.
It's unnatural to maintain the same sound. Let me give you an example from a rock band. System of a Down is a band that released 5 albums from 1998 to
Not System of a
2005.
Down, we're going way
They are
back.
still a band and occasionally tour, but it's been almost 20 years since they released their last album. These 5 albums have what people consider the System of a Down sound, and this sound has given them praise and complaints. Some people say that their songs are too similar to each other, and others cannot get enough of this sound. In 2018, the band explained why they decided to stop making
I never
music.
heard this.
While some members wanted to continue with the band's sound and even composed songs that will never see the light of day, others wanted to find new sounds and new artistic directions. This is a kind of positive example. The band members are still friends and agreed to tour, but ultimately they decided to stop.
And we don't
here.
want that to
They
happen,
decided
okay?
to keep their
So
musical
shut your
catalog
mouths.
short and stuck in one sound. I'm not saying this is bad. Like I said, this is kind of a positive example because most bands break up. But BTS never run away from change. BTS are risk takers and they will shamelessly expand their sound. Once you accept this, listening to BTS's music can be the
It
most
truly
fun
is.
experience.
People need to
Sometimes
understand.
They will gold and evolve the sound you fell in love with, and other times they will lead you through a new unknown adventure.
I love this. BORACITY Magazine, you have such a way with words. Yes, exactly. They'll lead you on a new adventure. They'll bring you back. They'll have you missing the past, looking forward to the future, and happy in the present. Okay? Love, love, love. Thank you so much, BORACITY, for putting it. First off, let's talk about that chart. The little chart that's broken down into eras. Yes, I've heard them broken down into eras, obviously. But putting them like that through like different points of people's life, I've never seen. So I did love that. Then we had the comparisons of songs from era to era, and I just hats off to you. This is like the fun word association game. Like, we need to make this a game. Somebody patent it right now, okay? And lastly, just saying, at the end of the day, people will evolve, people will change, and you can embrace that change, or you can be stuck in your old ways. And I am somebody that loves to grow and loves to evolve, and that's what I loved about my experience going through the BTS discography. Listening to every single song, listening to how they started the hunger that never died all the way through. The hunger may not have been for fame and money and all this kind of stuff towards the later days, but the hunger was for making art. And that's the difference, babe. That's the difference. Thank you again so much to Boracity Magazine for this video. Once again, killed it. Killed it. I loved it and hope that y'all enjoyed it too. I'll be back with more videos soon. Until then, make sure you click like and subscribe. And remember, I love you. Bye. Would love to know them by name. So